Name is Audrey Pleasance, and I'm doing my informative speech online. I have my cards. And my audience. Due to social distancing, we have my husband, my daughter, and my brother-in-law. We are doing the speech outside because we're all suffering from cabin fever, and I thought we could all use a little break from being stuck in the house all day. So my speech is on ADHD, attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity disorder. Have you heard these phrases? If my head wasn't attached to my shoulders, I'd forget it. Or if I'm not sure if I have free time or if I'm forgetting something. Or, ever more popular, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. While most people find these phrases humorous, this is something that people with ADHD live with every single day. My son was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in 2nd grade. Part of the reasoning for him to be tested and evaluated for ADHD was because of his distractions in class, constantly being hyper, the occasional impulse actions, and the overall effect it was having on his grades. When he was originally diagnosed with ADHD, I felt it was a blessing, but in the long run, I started to think about how is it going to affect him socially. I'd like to provide you with details on ADHD, including the background information of the disorder, treatment options, and finally ways to communicate and raise a successful child living with ADHD. Based on the definition from WebMD, ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder and affects children, adolescents, as well as adults. According to data and statistics from the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, a national 2016 survey, there's been 6.1 million children diagnosed with ADHD. 388,000 of those range from the ages of 2 to 5. 4 million range in ages 6 to 11, and 3 million ranges from ages 12 to 17. Boys are more commonly diagnosed with ADHD than girls. That's a 12.9% compared to 5.6%. Symptoms of ADHD are categorized into 3 areas. Inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. As the kids get older, the symptoms of ADHD do continue into adulthood. They're just kind of in different ways. Based on a 2015 article published on the National Institute of Health's website by Polly Christine Jones Ford, found that a sampling of school-age children using the age cutoff of December 31st, boys born in December were 30% more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than those born in January. Girls were 70% more likely to be diagnosed than those born in January. With these studies, parents must have to weigh whether to hold their child back a year in school or to allow them to develop a little bit more maturity, or have them go ahead and continue with school. According to a 2019 article by Margarita Tardaluski titled Treatment for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder on PsychCentral.com, treatments for ADHD range from medication to teaching strategies on managing your time management or doing any type of counseling. Medication is generally the first line of treatment with ADHD, with 62% of children between the ages of 2 to 17 taking medications. Finding the right medication is a trial and error process. My son went through 3 different types of medication before we found the one fit for him. The downfall of him taking medication is he did have to take it while he was at school. He actually did have to take it a couple of times during the day in order to retain its full effect. When he had to take his medication, he did have to leave class, go to the office, sign in that he had to take the medication, and then go back to class. He personally did not like that because he felt that he was kind of being singled out, having to go to the office every day. And also with having to take medication, kids do have to go into their pediatrician every 3 months to get checked out medically, because most of the medications, one of the side effects is that it does have effect on your liver functions. So they have to go in every 3 months to get their blood work checked. Psychotherapy is another treatment option for 47% of children between the ages of 17 receiving therapy. This treatment method is based on goal-oriented, and it also includes management skills, getting organized, planning, adopting healthy skills, and use of alarms and reminders. These days, we all carry a cell phone. We have a reminder on our phones. And also being around a good support system with family and friends. Parents ultimately are essential in with helping their children that are diagnosed with ADHD, evaluating your child to see what exactly is causing his hyperactivity. Is it because he or she may be spoiled and needs the good spanking from time to time, or are they having an overload on sugar or caffeine, where they're constantly hyper because they're loaded up on sugar? For me, being a grandmother, I load the grandkids up on sugar and then send them home to mom and dad. If medically diagnosed, evaluating your child is also important by determining what is the best treatment method. Is medication the best route? Is behavioral counseling a better route? Or is it a combination of two? But making the decision about the treatment of your child ultimately is up to the parent, based on what you feel is the best route for your child, and not based on what everybody else is doing with their child. So in conclusion, I'd like to encourage you to think about what may be causing a person's hyperactivity disorder or impulsivity. While ADHD is a disorder, it's diagnosed more often in boys than girls. And the treatment is either medication, or best treatment option is it either medication or a more structured schedule. And most importantly, parents need to evaluate what is the best interest for their child, and most importantly, it's not the fault of the parents that their child was diagnosed with ADHD. Ultimately, with kids, before running to the doctor to have your child diagnosed, you do need to evaluate these particular scenarios and look at it from a different perspective. As I mentioned, is the child spoiled and needs the occasional spanking? Or have they been overloaded on sugar or caffeine and they're just running around literally like a chicken with their head cut off? Or is my child just simply not mature enough to handle being in the grade that he or she may be in and needs to be held back a year in order to mature a little bit further? Thank you for your time.